Today we are comparing two of Honda's most popular entry-level cruisers, the 2025 Honda Rebel 300 and the 2025 Honda Rebel 500. If you're a beginner looking for your first bike, or maybe a seasoned rider wanting a nimble, stylish cruiser for city commutes or weekend rides, you're probably wondering which Rebel is right for you. Is the Rebel 300's lightweight agility enough, or do you need the extra power of the Rebel 500? Before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's set the stage. The Honda Rebel series has been a staple for new riders since the 1980s, but the modern Rebel 300 and 500, introduced in 2017, brought a fresh, neo-retro vibe with blacked-out aesthetics, low seat heights, and approachable performance. Both bikes share a lot of DNA, but their differences in engine size and power delivery make this comparison juicy. Let's start with the basics. At first glance, the Rebel 300 and 500 look almost identical. They share the same tubular steel frame, minimalist cruiser styling, and that iconic peanut-shaped fuel tank. Both bikes scream cool with their blacked-out engines, exhausts, and matte finishes. But there's one quick way to tell them apart visually. The Rebel 300 has a single-cylinder engine with one exhaust pipe, while the Rebel 500 rocks a parallel twin engine with two exhaust pipes. It's a subtle but key difference. The 300 single-cylinder gives it a classic, thumpy cruiser vibe, while the 500's twin-cylinder setup adds a smoother, more refined feel. Both bikes feature a low 27.2-inch seat height, making them super accessible for riders of all sizes, especially shorter riders or beginners who want confidence at stops. The riding position is relaxed, with mid-mounted foot controls and handlebars that pull back slightly for a comfortable, upright posture. For 2025, Honda updated the handlebars on both models, tapering them from 25.4mm at the clamp to 22.3mm at the grips, and moving the grips slightly inward and rearward for better ergonomics. The digital LCD dash on both bikes got a refresh for 2025, with improved transparency and reduced light reflection for better readability. It displays speed, gear position, fuel level, trip meters, and a clock. Simple, functional, and modern. Design-wise, these bikes are a canvas for customization. Honda offers accessories like passenger seats, backrests, and luggage options to make them your own. But let's talk about colors for 2025. The Rebel 300 comes in pearl black or nitric orange, while the Rebel 500 offers matte black metallic, pearl blue, or pearl beige. The 500 also has an ABS SE trim with a diamond-stitched seat and fork boots for extra style. Now, let's get to the heart of these Rebels: their engines. This is where the 300 and 500 really diverge. The Rebel 300 is powered by a 286 cubic centimeters, liquid-cooled, single-cylinder engine, producing around 27.6 horsepower and 28.7 Newton-meters of torque. It's peppy, with a claimed fuel economy of 78 miles per gallon, making it a champ for city commuting. Its top speed is about 88 miles per hour, but it feels most comfortable cruising around 55 to 60 miles per hour. If you're a beginner or sticking to urban environments, this engine is forgiving and easy to manage. The Rebel 500, on the other hand, packs a 471 cubic centimeters, liquid-cooled, parallel twin engine, delivering approximately 45.9 horsepower and 31.9 pound-feet of torque. It's got more grunt, with a top speed around 105 miles per hour, and it's much happier at highway speeds. The twin-cylinder design provides smoother power delivery, especially in the mid-range, which makes it feel like a bigger bike without being intimidating. I've ridden both, and the difference is night and day. The 300 has that classic single-cylinder thump, which is fun for short rides, but it can feel underpowered on highways or if you're carrying a passenger. The 500's twin-cylinder engine is smoother and more responsive, especially when you twist the throttle. It's got enough torque to handle longer rides or two-up riding with the optional passenger seat kit. Both bikes use a 6-speed gearbox with an assist and slipper clutch, which reduces lever effort by about 30% and prevents rear-wheel lockup during hard downshifts. The clutch makes both bikes beginner-friendly, but the 500's extra power gives it an edge for riders who want versatility for city and highway riding. When it comes to handling, both Rebels are designed for ease and agility. They share the same chassis, with a 58.7-inch wheelbase, 28-degree rake, and 4.3-inch trail, giving them balanced, neutral steering. The 300 weighs 364 pounds wet, while the 500 is slightly heavier at 408 pounds. That 44-pound difference is noticeable, but both bikes feel light and flickable, especially compared to heavier cruisers like a Harley or Indian. Suspension-wise, both bikes have a 41mm front fork and twin rear shocks with nitrogen gas for consistent damping. For 2025, Honda tweaked the rear shocks with updated spring rates for a plusher ride. However, the suspension is on the firmer side, which helps with predictable handling but can feel a bit stiff over rough roads. If you're planning long rides, you might want to adjust the rear preload or consider aftermarket seats for extra comfort. In the city, both bikes are a blast. The low center of gravity and slim tank/seat junction make them easy to maneuver at low speeds. The 300's lighter weight gives it a slight edge for darting through traffic, but the 500's extra power makes it more confident when you need to accelerate out of a tight spot. On twisty roads, the 300 feels nimbler, but the 500's additional torque lets you power out of corners with more gusto. Both bikes roll on 16-inch cast aluminum wheels with Dunlop D404Q tires, 130 by 90/16 front and 150 by 80/16 rear. These wide tires give the Rebels a retro-modern look and decent grip, though they're not built for aggressive cornering like a sport bike. Both Rebels come with all-LED lighting, including a compact, round headlight, tail light, and turn signals, giving them a modern yet classic vibe. The brakes are single hydraulic discs front and rear, with ABS available as an option on both models. The Rebel 500 also has an ABS SE trim, which includes premium accessories like a diamond-stitched seat and fork boots. Honda offers a range of accessories for both bikes, like passenger seats, backrests, and luggage racks, which are great for customizing your ride. The 500's ABS SE trim comes with some of these pre-installed, adding a touch of premium flair. One downside: neither bike has smartphone connectivity or advanced tech like traction control, but for entry-level cruisers, they're packed with what you need. Let's talk about money. For 2025, the Rebel 300 starts at $4,850 for the standard model and $5,150 with ABS, plus a $600 destination charge. The Rebel 500 starts at $6,500 for the standard, $6,800 for ABS, and $7,000 for the ABS SE, also plus the destination charge. That's a $1,650 gap between the base models. So is the 500 worth the extra cash? The Rebel 300 is a fantastic value for beginners or riders who mainly stick to city streets. Its lower price and excellent fuel economy make it budget-friendly. The 500, however, offers more power and versatility, making it a better long-term investment if you plan to ride on highways or with a passenger. Compared to competitors like the Kawasaki Eliminator 400 or Harley Street 500, the Rebel 500 undercuts them in price while offering Honda's legendary reliability. So, who should buy the Rebel 300? If you're a new rider, a shorter rider, or someone who wants a lightweight, affordable bike for city commuting and occasional short trips, the 300 is perfect. It's easy to handle, fuel-efficient, and has that cool cruiser vibe without breaking the bank. The Rebel 500 is for riders who want a bit more power and versatility. It's still beginner-friendly but can handle longer rides, highway cruising, and even two-up riding with the right accessories. If you see yourself growing as a rider or want a bike that won't feel underpowered in a year, the 500 is the way to go. Here's my take: if your budget is tight and you're sticking to city rides, the Rebel 300 is a no-brainer. But if you can swing the extra cost, the Rebel 500's smoother engine and highway capability make it the better choice for most riders. I'm 6 feet 1 inch, and while both bikes fit me fine, the 500 feels less cramped and more capable for longer rides. Let's wrap this up. The Honda Rebel 300 and 500 are both fantastic entry-level cruisers with sleek styling, low seat heights, and Honda's bulletproof reliability. The 300 is lighter, cheaper, and ideal for beginners or city riders. The 500 offers more power, smoother performance, and greater versatility for highways and longer trips. Your choice depends on your riding goals, budget, and how long you plan to keep the bike. So which one would I pick? For me, the Rebel 500's extra power and long-term potential edge out the 300, especially since I love hitting the open road. But let me know in the comments which Rebel you'd choose and why. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more bike comparisons. Until next time, ride safe.